You're live. That is fun. The viewers on YouTube get a special treat. They get to see me early. They get to see me early and often, while the viewers on TikTok don't get such a special treat. They have to wait a little longer. They have to be patient. Whoa. So funny. Wait, what am I on? I always wonder. I always wonder what I'm going to talk about as I go live. And then I realize that I don't really need to talk about a lot. I just can sit and play with the lighting, laugh at my face, laugh at you go in and out of the sun, laugh at my shirt. I don't know if I want to wear this shirt. Do I want to wear this shirt? I mean, obviously, I look pretty handsome in this shirt. Hello, Mary Beth. Wait a minute. Swipe left to close. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, user. What are we doing? We're learning. We're learning. We're learning every day. We are learning every day. Hello, Jamil. Hello, Tammy. Thank you for joining today. Tammy over on the wrong side of the pond is hopping on YouTube. Hello, Aja. Hello, Sandra. Hello, Megan. Hello, Wolf Mama. Tammy, I'm going to explain to you, and you're one of the only viewers I have watching right now. I have a viewer watching on YouTube. It's a friend, but a social media friend, although I did have the pleasure of meeting her maybe a year back at a Starbucks, and we met for coffee, ironically. And she's watching over on YouTube. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Nando. She's watching over on YouTube right now. And she originally somehow found me when I was doing my show a long, long time ago, and was doing my show, I think, on Facebook. And that's how we stayed connected via Facebook over the years. And she's in Britain, and she's watching me over on YouTube. So that's a quick explanation to Tammy. Thank you so much for the heart, RJ. But I'm dual streaming right now. I'm on TikTok and I am on YouTube, and I am just playing and just learning and trying to figure things out. Again, social media is life, is a learning experience, and hopefully we get a little better every day. And that growth or that learning curve isn't a curve, and it's not a straight line. It's as you figure things out. And sometimes I know for me, I put a lot of weight on where I am every moment. And when that learning curve is down at this end, I feel like I suck, or I'm a failure. I don't know what I'm doing, or my content sucks, or this or that. And then all of a sudden, I figure something out and we break through and we're up here and we got a lot of subscribers, or we got a lot of revenue being created, or we got a lot of interaction on my social media. And I go, well, I figured it out. And the truth of the matter is, I don't suck when I'm down here, and I haven't solved all of life's issues when I'm up here. And I think if we could remove ourselves from the equation and take a out of body look at us and our lives, a bigger picture look at our lives, we'd realize, hey, Ken fell and skinned his knee this morning and he's sad, but it doesn't mean life's horrible or life's too painful. Have a great day, Tommy. Love your hair. My stepson's going off to wrestling practice. He shaved his head. Not as clean as I did, but he shaved his head. But anyway, we'd be able to take a longer term picture, a bigger picture, and not get all caught up in the fluctuations that life throws at us. And I know for me, that's been a struggle for me. And hold on, right now I feel like on a spotlight. What would happen? Hang with me. I did a little of this and a little of this. Does that make the lighting a little more consistent? It does. It does. was bothering the heck out of me. It was look at this. See, you don't want that. I certainly don't want that. I go to Starbucks a lot, and I'll sit there. And Starbucks has these, I don't know what the word is, translucent or blinds that you kind of see through, and the lighting can come through. You can kind of see outside. And I'm one that likes windows open. I generally keep my doors unlocked. I think it's just kind of the way I live my life and the way I feel. Uh, I think I'm very welcoming and want people to come on in and say hi and sit down on the or on the my couch and have some coffee with me. But sometimes due to oh, I'm sitting at Starbucks and the sun will be beating through the window and they'll have the heating up high and I'll be working on my computer and I'll be feeling hot or feeling uncomfortable. I'll bring the blinds down a little bit. And I don't know what my point is, other than I feel bad when I'm in a crowded Starbucks and I have to adjust the blinds. I turn them up or I turn them down. And I want to ask, hey, is it okay if I adjust the blinds a little bit? So it felt real good just now bringing the blinds down and not worrying about it at all because it was just me. Good morning, Shannon. Good morning, Sandra Lynn. Good morning, Apple user. And a good morning, RJ, in case I didn't say good morning to RJ. Good morning, Jimmy, over on YouTube. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. My name's Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. I'm waving goodbye. I'm waving goodbye. I wonder if she can hear me. My wife and stepson are driving off. Note to self, back left tire air looks a little low. Put some air in that tire when I get a chance. Top of the morning from Springville, California. Good morning from Springville, California. And again, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. This is a show that I started, I say 4.5 years ago, and it's quickly becoming 4.5 years old. I think I started mid-June of 2019. And it is a show where I go live a heck of a lot and was going live every day at 8 o'clock. But it's a show I play around with. Hey, Grieving the Living, thank you for following the host. I hope I can turn the frown that is your name up into a smile and turn that frown upside down. Welcome, Abby's dad. Thank you. Diane is enjoying her pumpkin spice coffee. I'm a little jealous because I'm still working through my intro. And again, this is a show I started a long time ago. And it is a show that has followed me around, or I followed you around, depending on how we look at it. And again, I talked about it before. I was living in a dark apartment. I was broken up with the woman of my dreams. And I was missing my dog and my house and my kids and my patio and my life. And I was talking about it a little this morning, that divorce and separation can be very tough. I'm sure they're tough. I can only talk about it from a man's perspective because I'm a man and I've been through it from a man's perspective. Hi, Amy Sue. Good morning, Miss Hampton. And good morning, Sarah. But again, I think divorce, I talk about a lot of things on this show. And I was talking about it with my wife this morning. I think one of the most important topics I talk about is men's mental health. And I don't want to bore the women audience that I have, but I just tell you, as from a guy's perspective, if divorce and separation weren't so challenging on men, there would be no Coffee with Ken. And because the separation I had from my wife and my kids, and I went through it twice, twice, wasn't so traumatic on me and so difficult on me, there would be no Coffee with Ken. Because as I say, I was living in a dark apartment. I was missing my kids. I was missing my wife. I was missing my life, my house, my patio, my dog. And I think men generally get sent out. And I think it's really hard because you lose so much I put a lot of value in me as a husband or me as a father or me as a dad or me as a friend or me as a dog owner. When you go through a separation or you go through a divorce, a lot of times you lose all that. And for the last 4.5 years, I've kind of been going through my journey that is life and figuring out where I should be and where I belong. For those that have been watching for this whole time, you probably got more questions than answers because, one day I'm living in a dark apartment and next, I don't know, I'm living in a bright home with a picture on the wall. But I'm not here to answer all questions, but I'm here just to share some of my experiences. And for those that have been watching a while, you know, this is not just a show. Good morning, Fun Fred McLaughlin. I asked for a divorce this week. Should a separation be the first step before divorce? Well, grieving the living. That's a heavy question. That's a heavy question. I just tell you, divorce is tough, and and again, I don't know it from a woman's perspective, and maybe there should be a woman Ken, maybe a Karen. Although that name's been stolen. Doing a coffee with Karen and giving a woman's perspective of the same show. But I'm just a guy that has gone through it twice, and God bless me with 4 kids, and I have 2 beautiful girls that live with their mom in Oswego, which is about 10 miles from here. That I don't see and spend nearly as much time as I'd like, um, just because they have their own lives and their own lives aren't as intertwined with mine as I would like. But God also blessed me with 2 young ones, a 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old, beautiful girl and boy. I mean, it's actually boy and girl for those keeping track. But that I spent more time away from than I wanted. And I was doing all things you're supposed to do as a guy that's going through separation and living away from his kids. And I was trying to focus on work and focus on a career and focus on getting my feet back under me. But the truth of the matter is, for me at least, without having the foundation that is the love of my children and the love of the family and the warmth of the home, uh, it just seemed like an exercise in futility. And, I was going to work, I was interviewing, I was sending out resumes, but a lot of times I was wondering to what end, so I can pay child support or so I can put food, and not that food and child support aren't important, but I felt like I'd lost a piece of who I am. And it was a big piece of who I am. And it was my heart, my soul, and it was my kids and my family. And we're working on that, and we're working on it as a family, and we're working on it as a couple. We're trying to make things better and trying to make things okay. Uh, and nothing's perfect, and life isn't perfect. And I think we're both realizing that things aren't supposed to be perfect. And I'm realizing just because I'm down here on my growth chart doesn't mean I suck or I'm a failure or I'm a loser or my content sucks. Or if I'm down here for the moment on my relationship, if I got in an argument about something with my wife, it doesn't mean she's bad or I'm bad or we're bad or we can't work as a couple or that things need to be thrown out and started over. And I think my first instinct in life is uh, to do that, to run, to hide, to be afraid, to worry, to fret. And I'm working through that, and I'm working through that as uh, part of developing as a person. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, might have been my longest intro to date. My longest intro to date. I'm gonna have to change. We're thinking about changing the name of Coffee with Ken. If I may talk a little longer, we're talking about changing the name of Coffee with Ken. Giving yourself grace. What a great perspective. Well, thank you, Ohio Lindsay. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. And it's understanding, again, life and emotions and paths and careers and relationships and spirituality, that none of them are a straight line up. And again, it's hard to do. None of them are a straight line up. Um, we have highs and lows. And when we evaluate our whole life and our whole opinion of ourselves or our spouse or our family or our careers on the day your boss yelled at you, it doesn't mean your career sucks or your job sucks or you suck at your job. It just means you had a bad day. And I think too often I come up with a huge valuation on me, on my career, on my life, on my relationship, on my friends. I get in an argument with a friend. My friends suck. No, my friends don't suck, and no, I don't suck. I just got in an argument, or had a disagreement, or they bothered me, or I bothered them. So anyway, for those who've been watching a while, you know, it is not. And by the way, I'm in my living room for the very first time today. I mean, I've been in my living room before, but I've never done the Coffee with Ken live show in my living room. So I don't think I've ever actually poured a hot cup of coffee in front of you, the viewers, on live show over the carpet. I think I know what it is, but I've realized I'm pretty good at something. I'm pretty good at something. I'm very OCD. I'm very kind of nuts and crazy in a whole bunch of ways. Nuts and crazy in a whole bunch of ways. And we have two little kids and we have three older kids. And when you have a house full of five kids can create a whole lot of mess in a very short period of time. And I was sitting there feeling overwhelmed and wondering, what am I going to do? How am I going to clean up this mess? I'm living, And one day I said, hey, you know what I'll do? I'll get out the vacuum. And I vacuumed the carpet and it felt really good. And I go, hey, there's toys. I keep stubbing my toes on toys. I'll put them over in the toy room over there. All of a sudden, things started feeling better. And my life seemed to make more sense. And it sounds so silly. Again, but I talk about eating an elephant one bite at a time. And we don't have to fix everything. And we don't have to figure out next year's answer today. We don't even know the question is for next year. And I think a lot of us, I know for me as a worrier or a guy that struggles with some stuff, it's so easy to get caught in the future and get worried about something that may or may not come down the road. And it's best just to handle the issues and problems. You keep maybe one eye on the future. But you handle, the problems as they come. And you don't need to fix today's got enough problems. You don't necessarily need to, chomp into tomorrow's problems, or don't imagine tomorrow's problems today. Because that's just for me at least, it was a recipe for stress and anxiety and a bunch of stuff. I have a viewer on YouTube named Nugget asking, Ken, hi, do you remember me? Nugget, I don't actually remember you. I hope you have a blessed weekend. Do I seem down today, Phyllis Bailey? I don't know that you're a real account, Phyllis Bailey, because you've said that twice. And I looked up, I get lots of people watching, and I love everybody. And I'm glad everyone's watching. And hey, Kayla, thank you for joining. But I have a watcher named Phyllis Bailey that said I seemed so sad yesterday and they were worried about me. And then I looked at them and they had 0 followers. I'm not sure they're a real person. And they said I seem sad again today. I don't think I seem down. I'm just reflective. And I think that's a good way to be. I feel great, actually. I've had a great morning. Oh, I can't tell you how good my morning started. It really did. Well, thank you, Kayla. And I got to sleep in. It's so funny when you have 2 kids, and I'm 55 years old. I have a couple little babies, and they were making noise around 3:45 today. And my wife was awake, and she decided to grab them. She thought it was just one, and she got up and picked up the one, and I was laying in the warmth of my bed, and I heard her picking up the one out of their room, and then I heard another one screaming, and I said, "Oh my." I'm not going to win Dad of the Year for uh uh what I'm about to say, but I heard the other one screaming, and I thought, "Oh my, I hope they go back to sleep." Or probably in the darkest part of my mind, I thought, "I hope she grabs them too." She did. So at 3:45, my wife's up with both kids and downstairs, and we got a dog, Holly, who's laying right here next to me. And uh, you know, I felt I want to say I felt bad for her. I did feel bad for her, but I mean, to be honest, I felt so bad that I drifted back off to sleep for 2 hours. And again, I was laughing about it because she let me sleep in this morning. And sleeping in when you have two little ones on a Saturday is 5:45. And I don't know if that's really sleeping in. I don't know if I have any more point besides that. I don't know if I have a point besides that. Oh, oh. Oh, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about my coffee. For those that have been watching a while, for those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me talking. For those who've been watching a while, you know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup. I think it's pretty hot. It's hot to the touch, but I poured it, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes ago. Hello, Tracy from India. I am so excited to take my first sip. I can smell by the aroma what it is. Should I tell you or should I just sip it? I'll tell you about that in a second, Shannon. The little ones do share a room, and one does wake up the other, and it can be frustrating. But we got 5 kids. We got 5 kids. The little ones are both napping. Again, I'm getting distracted from my coffee, but it's Shannon's fault because Shannon asked a good question. We've got they're both up napping right now. They're both asleep and they're in separate rooms. So if one wakes up, we can grab one and not the other. But again, with 5 kids, we have a 4-bedroom house. The little ones are little. They fit. They fit in a room together. And so, yeah, they sleep in a room, and oftentimes one will wake up the other one. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, it is how far apart in the age of the littles. One moment. Save that question, Ohio Lindsay. For those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking. It's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee, and I'm excited to take my first sip. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Ah, it's the hazelnut. It's the hazelnut. And I don't think she could have prepared a more delicious pot of coffee. We got up early. We always get up early, whether it's Saturday. Cheers to you, RJ. Cheers to you, Josh, and good morning, Forever Fit. We got up early like we usually do. My wife is 3:45, me at 5:45, and we like to start drinking coffee early. I'm a guy with a cup that's got my name on it called Coffee with Ken, and we drank a pot of pumpkin spice. I was very excited chugging that because that's probably my favorite. Good. Cheers to you, Lindsay. But in life, it's fun to mix things up a little bit. And whether it's coffee or if I'm walking Holly, it's so easy to get caught in a ritual. And always, there's a beautiful walk through a park in this neighborhood. And we've been here for like 3 years. And every single time I took Holly on this walk, and it's probably a little over a mile maybe, but it's beautiful. I'd always go the same direction. I would always go the same direction. And about 2 weeks ago, I said, "What the heck? Let's do it backwards." And it was still spectacular. It was still beautiful, but the experiences each step were different. And again, I think it's nice to mix things up from time to time, whether it's reversing a walk or going around a different block or taking a different way home or mixing up your coffee. I think, I know for me, I'm enjoying the heck out of mixing up the coffee right now. So let's have a little more. Mm. Lindsay asked, how far apart are my little ones? Uh, Eve, who's my youngest, is, what's the date? I don't even know the date. It's Saturday. He's almost 13 months old. Thank you, Jimmy. Is almost 13 months old. I think it's the 13th or the 14th. So she's about 13 months old. And Augie is 2.5. And I'll bring this up not because, I mean, it's interesting. Augie has Down syndrome. And because of that, I mean, again, I think he's a little smaller. He's a little slower at developing in a lot of ways. So although Eve is a year old and Augie is 2.5, their ages seem very, very close in terms of uh, um, size, in terms of physical development, in terms of talking and what they do developmentally. Yeah, and it's awesome though. It's awesome. They're going to be best friends. They wrestle, they fight, they laugh together, they read books together, and honestly, it's like they're two. I mean, they're two. Eve's just learning how to walk, and Augie can run around, but he runs around so aggressively. Sometimes his feet will move faster than his body, and he'll trip over anything. Eve's still, where she's of the age that I don't know when she can walk more than a few feet in a row. We always cheer for her, and uh, so in a lot of ways, they're very closely aged or developed, and it's fun. And they enjoy each other, and they just watching them interact. Because, excuse me, my older girls were 3.5 years apart. Are they 3 years apart, and one seemed much much older than the other, and always has. But with Augie and Eve, it's almost like not twins exactly because they're very different. But again, they're very similar in where they are developmentally. And my wife said Augie likes to knock her down, and he sure does. But I'll tell you what, for those that are worried, first of all, my daughter Eve is going to be a tough girl. She's going to be a strong girl because she's been taking Augie's beatings from almost the day she was born. He'll come up behind her and he'll get her in a wrestling hold and pull her down. And, you know, I give him a little more leeway to be rough than his mom does. His mom jumps up and says, "No, honey, don't do that. Don't be mean." And I mean, I don't let him be mean, but I realize they're siblings, and siblings have, I don't know, you learn from your siblings, and it makes you stronger, smarter, more athletic, more ready for the outside world. And I just know it's gonna be neat watching them grow as uh, two little kids growing together, and Augie looking out for Eve, and Eve looking out for Augie. And they're going to be a neat couple kids to watch grow, and they're both beautiful little babies. Julie, I think, asked about the elephant. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Basically, I think in life, it's so easy to get overwhelmed. I'm sitting outside, I'm watching the leaves come down, and we got a big yard. And if I started thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to take a while, I got to get the blower, but I don't have time to get the blower. I got to meet my friends out for coffee in a little bit. And I've got to finish up my live show. How am I going to get to the leaves? And crap, the garage is a mess. And crap, I'd like to do some laundry today. I know it's so easy in life to get overwhelmed with life, and overwhelmed with the world, and overwhelmed with everything, with relationships, with homework, with dinner, with cleaning, with putting air in my back left tire and oil in my car, because it needs both. And if you think about it all, and you think about raking and laundry and oil and air and dinner and babies and picking up kids, you're going, I can't handle it. The world's too much. But the way you handle it is just like you'd handle eating an elephant. You do it one bite at a time, and makes life go a little easier. Hope you all have a good day. Heading off to be with the family. Losing a 10. Oh, sorry, Shannon. Have a great day, Shannon. Have a great day. Happy to hear you're back with the wife. Well, thank you, D. Rich. What's the plan for this beautiful day? Sandra Lynn, what is my plan for this beautiful day? I was excited to go live. I was, going live every day at 8 o'clock. And again, we're experimenting and we're working on a bunch of different things in terms of content creation and videos and trying different things. And I edit all these lives I was doing, but it was becoming a job in and of itself. And I was like a month behind. I'm still like a month behind in the editing process. So if you see any new shorts or TikToks I post, if you see any shorts and TikToks that seem, I don't know, realize if I just put them out today, I probably did the video for them about a month ago. So there's a lag. You watch my shorts. Maybe a month ago, I was going through a hard time or struggling or feeling under the weather. Sometimes I'll post a video and my friends will go, "Oh, Ken, I hear you're sick. Are you okay?" I go, "Oh, yeah, I was sick a month ago. I feel fine today. Strong as an ox, strong like bull." And yeah, so that's kind of funny. But anyway, I was going live every morning at 8 o'clock, and it seemed to be a little bit much, and I was having a hard time keeping up, and I was kind of feeling tired and beat and losing the enthusiasm. So I was excited to go live today, especially on a Saturday, because that's how it all, whatever it all means, started 4.5 years ago. It was a Saturday show, and we're still figuring it out, and we're still playing around. And I think what we realized over the last week, and I can say this, you guys can't say this, is my voice sounds a lot better than my face looks. What we've been playing with lately is putting clips from one of these videos. If I say something eloquent or wise or smart sounding, we'll put it over words on a black screen and we'll post them as videos. And I posted one on TikTok and a couple on YouTube over the last week. And it's got my voice and it's got either a video of beauty and nature or a black screen or what have you with just words popping up. And we're playing with that. And we talked about changing the name of Coffee with Ken, and we probably won't. We probably won't change Coffee with Ken. But what is it? Ken Talks. And I know I stole it from TED Talks. But to be honest, I don't even know who Ted is. Is it Ted Turner? That's the most famous TED I know. But there's a series called TED Talks. And it's not a guy named Ted talking. So we've been posting some videos and calling them Ken Talks, and it might be Ken Talks Encouragement or Ken Talks Relationships or Ken Talks Sobriety or Ken Talks Finance or Ken Talks Real Estate or what have you. And if you look back at all the videos I've done, there's just jillions of hours of content. And I think I throw out so much content from time to time that it gets lost. And every live video I do, it seems there's a few really good nuggets of something important that I say that we think should get a little more playtime or a little more focus. And if they're just buried, if I have a minute where I say something that sounds intelligent and it's buried in an hour-long video, it might never see the light of day. And we're going through these lives and finding those good nuggets and posting them as shorts and reels and TikToks. But it requires a lot of work, and we're getting behind. But beyond that, I'm meeting a couple buddies out at Starbucks at 10 o'clock, some old friends. It's funny, I got a lot of old friends. I mean, literally and figuratively. Where's my coffee? Speaking of coffee. I'm 55 years old. A lot of my friends are 55 years old. And These guys, I met one in about seventh grade and one in sixth grade, and we've been friends for I don't know, 40 plus years. And we ran cross country and track together, and we all went to the same junior high and high school and kind of grew up together. And we each have our own different lives that totally, you know, the paths cross, and then we kind of go off and get different jobs or get in different relationships, or but we always kind of come back together. And just going to meet with a couple buddies. Good morning, Lisa Strong. Going to meet with a couple buddies in hour and a half or so. And other than that, do I have any big plans this weekend? No, I do not. No, I do not. The house is quiet. My dog has had a nice walk. The two babies are upstairs asleep. Uh, and we got two big ones upstairs asleep as well, and it feels good. Have I for 50? I've had one friend for 51 years. Well, Big Red, U.S. Army. That's I posted a video the other day about where I went to grade school. Is there an Iceland volcano about to explode? I do not know. I do not know. I would like to go to Iceland and I'd like to see a volcano. I don't want it completely exploding. I don't know how many out there remember Mount St. Helens. Was that 1980, I think? That was really big news. The top of Mount St. Helens up in, I don't know, Washington State or maybe Oregon blew off, and little ash was falling down across the country. Sandra Lynn, you're off to wrestle. Well, you have a great day as well. Thank you so much for joining. But I do not know if there's an Iceland volcano about to explode. Did you put your flag out? We have a flag. The flag is out. For Veterans Day, not particularly did we put it out, but we have a flag out there. Don't forget to thank a veteran today for Veterans Day. I certainly don't. I talk about it a lot. That's one of my favorite things to do is shake a veteran's hand and thank them for their service. I never served in the military. I inquired about it once when I was young. Uh, Looked into joining the National Guard, but when I was a kid, I had a lot of people that went off to, was it Desert Storm, which was in 1990. But kids my age were going off and serving in the Middle East. But before that, obviously Vietnam. And, I think it's the neatest thing. And running into a guy with a World War II hat, veteran hat on. And it's interesting. I last met a guy that had a World War II veteran hat about 6 months ago. And it's always fun shaking their hands and hearing a little bit about their story. And every time I meet one, I wonder if that's the last person I'm going to meet wearing a World War II veteran's hat. Because obviously it's, that war was almost 80 years ago now that it finished up. And it's obviously a dying breed. And so if you do have a chance to shake a veteran's hand, do it because it feels so good. They love it. They appreciate it. All the guys that went over and served in Vietnam, they're getting gray in the beard as well. And before you know it, that's going to be a dying breed. It probably already is. And time goes by fast. Time goes by fast. I've done a lot of reflective videos lately where I talked about being a child or high school or what have you, or even grade school. And here I am, 55 years old, and time goes by fast. And I know, it doesn't seem that long ago that I was wearing a Santa's hat for my live video. And, that was almost a year ago now. And again, time goes by fast. And I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to be 65. And I'm going to wake up the next day, I'm going to be 75. And I don't say that as a message of sadness or gloom or doom. I say it honestly as a message of hope and a message of positivity and a message to enjoy the day, enjoy the leaves that are falling and the sun that is shining and the, beautiful view I have out my window and the coffee I'm drinking and the little things. Because if you forget about the little things, life is over. And uh, I think we're here to enjoy it as it comes and appreciate the gifts that are all around us. And I'll tell you what, I was watching a video by Tony Robbins, and I talk about it the same way. I think he said the two worst emotions that we experience are fear and anger. And I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I'm not making any judgment about that. But I do agree with the solution. The solution with both of them is gratitude. When I am struggling the most, or hurting the most, or depressed the most, or worried the most, or angry the most, or afraid the most, or sad the most, if I think about things I'm grateful for, that helps my emotion uh, more than anything. It makes me feel a little better. And we all have a lot to be grateful for. And again, even if it's not so obvious, your husband doesn't have to bring you a bouquet of flowers to be thankful for your husband, and your wife doesn't have to make you a fantastic dinner for you to be grateful for your wife. Just the little things they do, and the I don't know, silly little things they do, and sometimes even the kind of annoying things they do. And there was a great scene from Goodwill Hunting, which is a great, great, great movie. I got the chills just thinking about it, where Robin Williams is talking to Matt Damon in their therapy appointment, and he was talking about his wife and the love he had for his wife. And he was talking about some things that didn't sound so beautiful or attractive or wonderful to Matt Damon's character. But Robin Williams said, no, that was the good stuff. That's what made her special and what makes me laugh and still puts a smile in my heart. And yeah. Well, Jimmy, if you need an emotional support person, I'm there for you. Yeah, no, I miss Robin Williams. Yeah, he had. It's interesting. A lot of guys' career paths, and I think a lot of comedians struggle with mental health. And I think the reason a lot of people become funny, it's an outlet for them because they don't feel accepted or loved by the world, so they act in weird or zany ways or kooky ways. And you'll watch, I don't know, Mork from Mork or some of Robin Williams' earliest stuff, but he developed into such a emotional and serious and warm, loving actor. And I hope he knows how much he was valued by the world or appreciated it by the world. And you see it with Jim Carrey a little bit as well. You watch one of his older stuff or his stuff from In Living Color, and it's such crazy, uh, silly stuff. But then he developed as an actor and got a lot of heavier roles and a lot of beautiful roles as well. Jimmy, I want to talk about that. Jimmy says he's not down, just not constantly happy like you want to be. If I could throw out a solution, I think your expectations might be a little too high. If you expect to be always happy, I think you have unrealistic expectations of the world and life. I think the sooner you accept stubbing your toe or your dog pooping on the couch or your kids leaving their shoes in the entryway or your flat tire, the sooner you accept that, the easier it is to find joy in the moment and to find happiness in the longer term. But if you expect to be happy all the time, you're going to be disappointed. And if you realize that life has its ups and downs, and you're going to have there's probably going to be a moment today that I'm not happy. I'm frustrated. My knee hurts, or there's traffic. I miss a light, or what have you, and I get frustrated. But if you expect that and are okay with that, uh, I think the smoother life goes. And again, I was talking about it earlier. We have a lot of ups and downs, and the more we're okay with the downs and appreciative of the ups, I don't know. I think the easier life goes. I think the easier life goes. Yeah, Jimmy, be okay with that. You're okay. You're not supposed to be happy. You're not supposed to be happy all the time. Yeah. I think when we search for happiness all the time, that's when we fall back on drugs or alcohol. And again, you're not supposed to be happy all the time. I think you're supposed to. I think we can strive for content or okay or. And I don't. I don't mean that as a depressing message at all. Uh, but there was a time I was at Starbucks with my wife about a week and a half ago, and she was focused on whatever she was doing, and I was sitting there, and I wouldn't describe my emotion as happy because I was sitting there. I was kind of going, "Huh, I wonder how long we're going to sit here." But I was okay. I was content. I wasn't in a rush. I wasn't in a hurry. But I'd say I was content and I was okay. But I wouldn't have described it as super happy because I don't think super happy is realistic. You know, I think feeling good and feeling okay. Again, I'll wake up at night and I think I'm happier than most people, but I woke up last night and was worried a little bit. And I think for most of my life, I would have fought that worry and said, dang it, what's wrong with me? Why am I afraid? Why am I worried? Why am I thinking about tomorrow? Or why am I thinking about this issue or this issue or that issue? And I'd start struggling with it. And we've all heard the expression, what we focus on expands. And it's true. And if you kind of put that stuff aside and go, I'm feeling stuff, whether that stuff could be anger, fear, jealousy, pain, worry, whatever. You put it, you go, okay, well, hey, that's interesting. That's an interesting feeling, an interesting experience. Okay, I'm feeling these things. It's easier to put it down and go, okay, well, there you go. Anger, jealousy, fear, worry, concern, sadness. I'll just put you over there because I've acknowledged you and I not shocked that I've felt them. And then you go, now what do I feel? I feel thirsty. I feel thirsty. Hey, look at this. I got a cup of coffee in my hand. Mm, it tastes real good. And suddenly, because you were able to address the negative, the emotions we'd classify with negative words, you were able to acknowledge them, accept them, address them, and put them down. You could get back into the moment and realize that I don't know, life's pretty good. I'm looking at a beautiful day. I'll show you my windows, but I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'm sorry, TikTok. I'll show you, but my windows aren't as clean. YouTube's getting me the view. That's my view. I don't know. My windows aren't as clean as I'd like, but again, I think accepting that if you get freaked out that my windows aren't as clean, or if I got freaked out that my windows weren't as clean as I'd like, life's going to be pretty hard. Or feeling that I got to clean them right now, or that I got to rake the leaves, or that I got to walk my dog, or feed myself breakfast, or hurry out the door, or hop in the shower. You're going to get freaked out, and you don't want to be freaked out. And again, freaked out is working against uh, contentment. Well, Jimmy, I'm so glad you found me, and I appreciate you liking some of my. Thank you, Phyllis. I appreciate you finding me and liking a bunch of my videos. Binge watch them, binge watch them, comment on them, like them. And if you're new here, please follow along. And Jimmy just said he has been looking for somebody me that talks about life and spreads positivity. But I think I'm able to do it because I've been through so much stuff. I felt so much pain and so much heartbreak and struggled with stuff and hated myself for a good chunk of my life. And again, this show started 4.5 years ago. I was laying in bed in my dark apartment and I heard the words I was saying to myself. I never acknowledged them before. I just had these words. This crap. You suck. You're ugly. People hate you. You're a failure. You're a loser. You'd have all horrible things. And I'd say, I'd never say these to another person, but I'm saying them to myself. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I go, I got to fix this. And again, I talked about it a lot before. I popped on some positive affirmation video. And one thing led, and then I went for a walk and I listened to the positive words while I was walking. And suddenly I go, hey, my voice in my head started changing. Yeah, Jimmy, I bet a lot of people do. Well, thank you, Jasmine Quiz. I bet a lot of people have a negative voice inside their heads. I don't know. I've heard it's because we were afraid of saber-toothed tigers or starving to death that we had to, our brains are wired to worry and fear for fear and worry. But sometimes it makes it hard to live and hard to be at peace and hard to be joyous and hard to be in the moment and hard to appreciate your wife, your dog, your kids, the beautiful fall weather because you're worried about your mortgage bill or you're worried about, I don't know, oil in your car or whatever you might be worried about. And I think you can train your brain to get in a more positive frame. And somebody, I can't pronounce her name, is talking about Jesus loving you. And again, spirituality was a big part of me of feeling better, believing in a higher power, and uh, finding purpose and meaning when some on those days when it's hard to find purpose and meaning because we all have them. We all have them. We just don't want to own them and make them who we are. We just want to make them little blips. Uh, Little blips. Oh yeah, Jimmy, I do. There's two Jimmys. There's two Jimmys. There's an IE Jimmy and a Y Jimmy. I love you both and thank you both for joining. And if there's anybody new there, be it on YouTube or TikTok, please follow my show. Uh, yeah, hey, Jimmy says he's not Jimmy with the IE says he's not religious, but he's not against people who are. Most of my life, I wasn't. I'd like to say spiritual because religion. Doesn't bother me if somebody what faith somebody is. It doesn't bother me if they have no faith, don't have faith. But I'm just telling you, life's a lot easier when you have a little faith and you believe in a higher power and you believe things that happen for a reason. I know somebody that I care about and love a lot that didn't get a job they were hoping to get recently. And I think if that had happened to me, I think it would have really, there were times in my life that would have been really debilitating, and I would have been bummed and sad and depressed and worried and afraid and feeling like a failure, feeling anxious or what have you. And again, this wasn't me, it happened to somebody else. But I honestly believe that things do happen for a reason, and that there is a reason that this person didn't get the opportunity and that a better path is ahead for them. And yeah, good morning, Jake Sam. Good morning, Jake Sam. Well, I talked for about 55 minutes today, and it felt so good. It felt so good. But I'm meeting some buddies out in an hour, and I'm looking forward to my day. And I hope you guys are looking forward to your day. And I appreciate you so much for hopping on today. I go live at 8 o'clock. I don't know how often I'm going to go live, but I'm enjoyed doing it today. And I'm not going to make any promises about tomorrow because tomorrow's never promised. But I do go live. I don't know, whenever the heck I want, I guess. And we'll see how often that becomes. But I do post a lot of videos, and we are working on various social media platforms and building our audience and hopefully making a difference. Because I think through Coffee with Ken or through talks with Ken or through these live videos that I am making a difference and I am touching people and hopefully sharing my experiences um, is valuable for you guys because it feels good to do. And again, I've had a lot of highs and lows, and I'm not too ashamed or proud to admit that I've had lows, and I'm willing to share them, and hopefully they help you guys a little bit. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you had a great, great week. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you have a view half as pretty as I do outside these beautiful windows. Um, Again, accept those yucky feelings. Accept that life's not always going to be perfect and you're not always going to be happy, and that Sun's not always going to be shining. And accept it and put it down and embrace the goodness that is all around us or is right in front of us. And I'll leave you with that. One more sip of coffee. Thank you so much for joining. Again, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you are excited about your weekend. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye bye.